I'm not late. I'm just not ready. Hi, everybody. We have a very special live for you all today. Mr. Andrew Kenton is going to be joining us here shortly. Going to let a few more people join here. I put my bobby pins in too tight. Andrew is actually this current season's 90-day fiance, and I had a phone call with him before we did this. We are going to talk briefly about a couple things about him that he's comfortable with sharing. He does have a current contract with Sharp, so he can't really talk about too much, but he will talk about as much as he's comfortable with. As a courtesy, he is a guest here on my page, and sorry, she got out of the room. We do want to just remain respectful. I know he feels like he's not the most well-liked person right now, and that is because we only are a couple episodes into his storyline with his fiance, Amira. So we're going to just let him come on here and be a part of Team Jihoon, okay? Hold, please. Hi, Andrew.
Amanda,
Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing well. I'm happy it's Friday.
Yay. Me too.
Right?
I almost
Friday,
forgot that it was Friday.
right? So staying busy.
Yes, I know. So give us some quick background on what do you want to start with here? Do you want to start with your story or?
And we can start with you guys, obviously, know 90 Day. And
Yeah.
that's where you guys know me from. You guys saw me speaking bad Spanish in Mexico. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, my Spanish could definitely use a little help there. But if you check out my stories, you can see my Spanish is a little bit better.
Oh, good. We'll
And
give you a little bit of a break because you are from Northern California and not from Southern California. So
different climate, very different type of California's kind of thing.
yeah.
SoCal. But I love Southern California. I went to university in San Diego, so it's
Right. Yeah.
I love San Diego. It's amazing.
I
But yeah,
know.
so 90 days is a interesting journey. It's a process. It is it is it is definitely a unique life experience that I wouldn't recommend to anybody.
Oh, yeah. I know. You're not actually the first person to tell me that. You're actually the second person to tell me that.
That's good. So there's a second there.
So I'm going to ask you the question that everybody wants to know, okay? Why didn't you go downstairs for help and ask the customer service people for help?
Because I just am the dumbest person in the world, honestly. I did. I did. If you guys go to my page and you check out my one of my stories there, I have receipts showing some of the translators I actually ended up talking to who helped me out, and they called different detention centers. We actually tried to get a hold of that embassy really hard. There's a lot of things you guys don't know about how all that went down, and it definitely is. It's a lot more effort that I really feel shorted on my effort.
Yeah. So do you
You
hear
know?
that, everybody? Andrew is not so much the boob as people would make him out to be. We only saw, shockingly, a part of what was actually going on in that hotel room. Andrew did try to find Amira. Quite a lot of effort was done on his part to find her, shockingly enough.
They,
So
they they kept getting roadblocks. There's so much bureaucracy in Mexico, and
Yeah.
when you don't know how to navigate some of those channels, like
Yeah.
I had to, it was really difficult to figure out locations or who the right person to call is, and I got hung up on. You guys saw that over
Yeah.
and over. So
Yeah,
it,
they do like to do that sometimes. So all right. I think we can put that one to bed.
I
Okay.
think thank
Yeah.
you so much for
All
allowing me
right.
the opportunity.
I do see that it looks like Jovi is here also as well.
Right? Yeah, cool.
Is he one of your friends?
I talked to Joey. Joey's awesome. He's a great guy.
Oh, nice. And
Yeah.
Brandon's here too.
Hi, Brandon. I
Things
love.
all here. Okay, cool.
Oh,
All
everyone's
right. Well, so we're going to now go ahead and talk about a little bit of Jihoon's story. I understand that you are, you know the story a little bit as well, and it is something that kind of speaks to you because you do deal with children and fathers from a day-to-day basis. So kind of tell us a little bit. I did reach out to Andrew. I just cold messaged him, did not think at all that he would get back to me on this. And I really do appreciate you taking the time to come to me and be on Team Jihoon. So just kind of give us a little bit of why this campaign speaks to you and is important to you.
I am on Team Healthy Parenting, and I think that there is a role that fathers play in a child's life that is phenomenally important. And not only that, there's an extra component, especially in this case. There's a cultural component with Taeyoung, and there's a whole other culture that he should be having access to, at least in my opinion, and that he should be able to learn about, grow up in, and have those kind of experiences that his father also had.
Right.
That's not, he shouldn't also have his mother's experiences and also have time with Devin and whatnot. But it is to say that there's a certain psychological, social, and fundamental development that happens in a child when they're, experiencing the culture of their parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's something to be said about experiencing that culture in the motherland, I guess you could say as well. There's a whole other dynamic too when you put in the grandparents and everything like that that are missing him as well. So
I think people sometimes can be a little bit like too ethnocentristic, like they judge other cultures based on the prism of their own culture. And so when they do that, we might look at like Jihoon's parents or Jihoon's style, and we might say, oh, we don't operate like that. That's different than the way that we operate. But who are we to be judging another culture and how they ultimately raise their children or run their communities or anything like that? And so I think sometimes we might be a little too judgy on Jihoon and his culture just because we're unfamiliar with it.
true. Yeah, that is definitely true. So you have, the story. I assume that you have watched their story from the 90-day show.
Yes, I watched their story on the 90-day show, and I also follow Jihoon here, and I see
Okay.
what.
So right now we're in the process of trying to secure his parental rights that are where he is having a say on how those rights are exercised and that are not trying to be dictated from, Devin or the other side of the room. And when we're getting into this kind of territory, it can get pretty muddy. People are under the impression she filed a lot of things, back in September, even earlier than that, and that has just not been true. So people are kind of under the impression he's had all of this time to come up with funds to do this. He had 30 days. He had 30 days to do that. And even as an American, like for me, for example, I would never have been able to come up with something like that, especially during, a pandemic or anything. You throw all of that in there. He was really facing a time crunch. So it was anything that I could do to help him. I didn't think that it would get a lot of attention as it did. It got a lot of negative attention, but we were able to almost collect. I think we're almost at $7,500 right
Oh,
now,
that's
and that's
impressive.
in about 30 days. It hasn't. I think it'll be. It's not even been that long. It's been like 22 days because it wasn't even approved until the first of this month. So yeah, it's been about 22 days.
That's,
So
that's
we're getting
dry.
we're getting shirts made. Like we're official now. So
Is there?
no. So we would like to get you a shirt if you want to get me. I
I'll
know,
pop my
give me your shirt size.
I'll
I'll
over there in your GoFundMe, and you guys send me a shirt. I'll put my address in, and that'd be great. I'd
yeah,
love that.
that would
That'd,
be great. And
and you guys, I'm you
we
guys already acquired a retainer and everything. You guys already have a
so
retainer.
the retainer issue. Okay, so
Yeah.
Joe, Jihoon's lawyer, he took on the case without a retainer.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
the money that we have right now, I guess technically is just the money that he's going to use. He's going to just kind of take it as he needs it. There really is no retainer. Joe came on when we had, I think, $900
Uh,
or less than that. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look at that.
he walked in not even knowing if he was going to get paid for the services he was going to provide.
No, not
That
at
is
all.
very admirable.
I know. And Joe, if you've ever got a chance to look at anything he has ever said, he is very knowledgeable. He's a really cool guy. He's young. So he's more than up for these kinds of things that we're doing, you know. He's willing to put his face on here, which is
Big.
I know,
That's
which is really kind of cool.
a world.
I know. So I really appreciate him and I really appreciate people like you. So I'm seeing all these other 90-day cast members in our comments down here. So I might come after them next and see if I
Yeah.
can see if I can
Wonderful.
get them a little bit.
Exactly. There's so many wonderful people, especially on this cast, who just have good hearts and are funny and just,
Yeah.
are people, and just we're just getting waylaid and misportrayed and things like that. So definitely reach out. They might be open to that.
I know, and I really do. I love all of you guys because I admire you for coming out onto the show, especially because it's not really the kind of greatest light that you guys get put in. So I know, I really do.
Arnhem and Bailey, you know.
I know, I know. So how's your mom doing and how's the daycare and everything?
The daycare is actually going through a little bit of a crisis this week.
Oh
So
yeah.
my worst nightmare actually happened, and we ended up having cases of COVID hit my daycare.
Oh
And I
no.
have been so blessed. I've been so blessed for so long keeping COVID out of my facility. And it just last week I got a text from one of the parents, said it's two twins actually. They ended up getting the COVID, and I got all the staff tested, to the kids, all that. Luckily, no one else had it. No one else, like everyone's test came back negative, but still have to shut down and go through all of that. And there's a whole
Yeah.
instant report and everything that goes on with that. So it's COVID pandemic stuff, you know. It's no
I know.
fun.
Tiring, and we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the 2 week shutdown that they promised us about. Remember that?
Can you believe it's been a year already? Like
That
it
was a
is.
lie. They lied to us. So,
You're right. I felt like back then is like, oh, we'll be back in by the summer or by the 4th of July or by this or by that. No, we're
I know
still.
we have got to do our part and get over this. My son is 10 months old. He's going to go to daycare or he's going to go to kindergarten in a dang mask.
Yeah, it's tough, especially with those under two. Under two, it's so hard to keep the mask on. Like the kids, they don't want to keep they'll pull them down. They'll wear them on the chin. Like
A
sometimes
mask on him. If I carry him and I'm wearing a mask, he's pulling it off of me, and I'm like, yeah. So
credit, they can do the most entertaining things with those masks. They ball them up and they become like a mustache. Like it is very funny the types of situations they can put those masks in.
I
But
know, I
I'm
know.
glad you're staying safe and that he's staying safe too when he goes
I
out.
keep
Like
him at home, and we don't go anywhere with him unless it's an absolute must. It's really sad. I don't have any family here, and neither does my husband. We're both transplants from different states, so
that makes it so tough when you don't have that extra support network there that can
Yeah, but it's kind of good right now because then we don't have any excuse to go anywhere. So, especially me working in a hospital with patients who have COVID, I haven't got it. I haven't brought it home. Nobody has gotten it in my office or anything like that. So,
that's
yeah,
probably on your mind all the time,
yeah,
like
it is.
it's my worst nightmare, and it just happened. Like I was like for the whole year I was like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. There's eventually going to be a day where COVID's going to enter the facility, and it's going to be all this stuff and all these things, and
Yeah,
you do your best to keep it out, but some
yeah,
things just
you do.
sometimes.
I know, but at least you were prepared for it and you are doing what you can to, I mean, there's nothing really you can do.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. You just got to do what you can to get it out.
And good news is the kids that have it are well, and they don't seem to be doing bad at all. And they see, they're quite smiling and happy and playing with their food. So
Yeah,
they
right. I know. Kids are so funny. They're
almost,
resilient. I know that they are. So,
yeah.
you know, hopefully,
Jihoon, memories with his son, like these moments of eating the food and like these little things, like I see him every
that's
day,
what I say.
and
Yeah.
little moments
Taeyang
that,
is getting older, and I'm
yeah,
sure those are the kinds of memories that his family would love to have with him. So
you
there's no
know
reason why it can't be a shared situation. I mean,
there's
there's
so
no reason for it.
exactly there's so much joy that Taeyong could experience, and and they could impart upon Taeyong, and him just having those simple moments, enjoying food, spilling things, those things like that are important, and I
Yeah.
think it'd be good for Jihoon to experience them.
Yeah, I know. We had Jihoon's mom on not too long ago, and she's just absolutely heartbroken over not being able to see him. He's the only grandchild that she has. So
My
there's no reason for it at that point.
and if she didn't get to see her grandchild, she would be tearing apart everything, just
Yeah.
trying to see him. So I feel for her. I feel for the grandma in her, that
Yeah,
just
I
really
know.
to nurture and have that opportunity. That's her first grandchild.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
know. That's why the whole campaign is not just about Jihoon, it's about his whole family. So that's why we try to do the best that we can to get as much donations as we can. I know it says we need like $50,000. And I all I did was call around to different law offices and see how much is an international custody battle. And they were like, lady, what are you doing? Why are you calling us for that? And I was like, I just need to know. So I got a figure anywhere between, it could be from 50,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I just started with the lowest number I thought possible. And hopefully it does not need to get that high. Hopefully we don't need $50,000. I hope that it can be resolved, the first go around, but I don't know.
these kind of things can be resolved in a room between four people, two attorneys, two parents, who are just sitting to think about what's best for Taeyong.
Right.
Yeah, like honestly, four reasonable, rational people who can sit around a table, who have the best intentions for a child, can solve this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if people aren't having the best intentions for Taeyong, then that's when you get long drawn out court battles and these expensive international
Yep.
receipts.
I know.
I would imagine internationally it's even more expensive,
Yeah, it is. Because you're putting into, a lot of other things there. Joe has already come out to say that in her paperwork, she wanted sole physical custody and that Jihoon was only allowed to see Taeyong under supervision and all this other thing, so
in America, only within.
yes. So he would have to come here and do all of that under a certain amount of time. So,
Which
and, his parents weren't even mentioned in any of that. So, those kinds of things aren't going to work. That's not what he's going to go for. And that's not something Joe's going to go for. So I'm sure they're going to figure that out. What's that?
I imagine he has more rights than giving 100% there. I would imagine that he has more skin in the game that he'd be allowed to actually see his child 25-50% or more.
So because she filed the case here in America, in Utah, he has all of those rights. That as if he was an American citizen. That's kind of like the thing that people don't understand. Just because he's a citizen of South Korea, the case is going to take place here, so all of those rights are automatically afforded to him as if he was an American father. So yeah, those are the kinds of things people should take into account as well. But
in the too. Okay, that's
yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll have to make up some sort of a parenting plan about, like, usually I think like with a father you'd get like every other weekend or every weekend or something like that. Now obviously Taeyang couldn't fly out every weekend or every other weekend, so you would have to figure that out.
Yeah, you'd accumulate those weekends and probably.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the court's going to have to make a lot of those decisions themselves. Those aren't going to be, I don't think, going to be left up to the parties to figure out. I don't think they're ever going to be able to do that.
You know, unless if they were able to agree, then they could just,
Joe said they have to go to mediation before they can even go to the courtroom. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. So they're at least going to be some sort of Skype face-to-face or some sort of Zoom call in the same room. It doesn't seem like that's happened in some time.
No, I think definitely not. But they are going to have to do like kind of how we're doing it right now.
Yeah.
So.
And in situations like that, that can be volatile, or it can, lead to some resolution depending on the headspace of those entering that room.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall during that thing, that would be interesting.
It'll be key, what the stenographer ends up getting out of that one.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, don't forget to get me your t-shirt size, and I'll get you, I think, I'll get you the link to the GoFundMe if you want to put it on your page. That would be awesome.
You know what? I'll put a story up and I'll put a thing up for it, and I'll send over my donation and my shirt size.
Yay, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Jihoon, so send him my best. I hope he's doing okay.
Well, he's definitely in better spirits now than he was, so
that's good. When you have hope, you have everything. And that's
it's so true. So yeah, I will be reaching out to a couple more of the 90 Day Fiance cast members. Tell Jovi and Brandon I'm coming for them.
They're great. Slide into their DMs and see if what their ability is. I know they're pretty busy guys, but they're good guys too. So they're good conversation. Thank you so much for having me on. I've really enjoyed.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Here and all the stuff. Thank you guys. Hi, Inspector. Oh my gosh, it's good to see you.
Yay, Kelly's here. Yeah. I'm gonna leave this up on my my page, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you again. Okay, sir?
No problem. You'll see me in your donation pretty soon. All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys. That was amazing. Andrew, he is such a good guy. I don't want to hear any garbage about him not being a good guy. All right. When I am pretty relentless about who I like, is just going to be that way, because he, I know he got a lot of crap for what happened, or what we saw happen. Let me reiterate that what we saw happen when Amira was sent to detainment in Mexico is not what we saw or what happened in real life. Okay, so we put that to bed. Gonna close it up and we're gonna leave it alone. Andrew did absolutely everything correctly to help get Amira out. Okay, so also he is 100% Team Jihoon. I'm so happy to have him come and talk to me. So we're gonna get him a shirt, and he is going to make a donation, which is awesome. And we also had Jovi and Brandon and Julia in the comments going back and forth. Julia was yelling at him to get his tea, or get her tea. So this was really good. I had fun. I was trying not to be distracted, but you know, I see a lot of things going on, and I was just kind of laughing. So I look forward to talking to him again, and I look forward to having you all with me again. So I'm gonna close her up, guys. Okay, love you all. Bye.